I'm going to travel. Finally, I'm going to take a somewhat of a road trip, about 350 miles from central Kentucky, north central Kentucky, to St. Louis, Missouri. And going to, I'm using a Better Route Planner just now, and I'll compare it with the Tesla map when we get going shortly. Here you can see it's got me making 3 stops before I get to the destination. I've put the destination as Brentwood, Missouri, which happens to also be a supercharger. So for anybody that hasn't used a Better Route Planner, it's a really neat tool. I've not used it much, so I'm going to see how it does. It allows you to put in some settings and some information. Advise you about what kind of chargers you want to use, how your battery is doing, the speed that you'll be traveling. So I'm able to put a lot of this information in, as you can see here. And this is a big deal, which is the consumption. In the summer, I would get, consumption would be about 225, which would make this a tremendously different trip. I put in 325, but watch what happens when I put in 225 here, and then I go back, and you can see it's got me stopping for a half hour, 20 minutes, 20 minutes, a total of 3 stops. If I update it, now it's got me at 8 minutes, 46 minutes, and I'm there. So this one here, it does have me taking it up to 100% right there, and says I can make it. So it's a big difference. It changes the flavor of the drive quite a bit, but I'm actually not in a hurry, so I don't mind spending some time stopping. So as you'll see, this now is added my 3rd stop here, and this way when I get to my destination, it shows that I'll have 10%. And you can see I never, except for here, I don't have to bring it up over 73%. So anyway, a lot of people do a lot of videos, and I do have FSD 10.2.2, but there's so many videos on that. I haven't done one of those. I did recalibrate my battery, and I have a standard range plus, and my battery says, or in the car it says that I'll be able to get 230 miles. I should get 250, but in just 2 years, it looks like it went from 250 to 230. But again, I'll find out even more about that during this trip. So I welcome you to join me as I cross the Mississippi River and head toward the St. Louis Arch. And let's see how we finally do on a drive. It's been almost 2 years since I've actually taken a really good drive in this car, so I'm excited.
Well, good morning, YouTube. We're getting ready to begin our trip to St. Louis. Currently, it's got us with 3 stops. First one in Louisville, Kentucky, and the last one in Brentwood, Missouri. So I'm going to make a slight change already, and in Louisville I'm going to go to a different charger, and I'll give you more information as we head out that way. How's that? Okay, because of the way our trip is spaced out, I will have to stop in Louisville, Kentucky, even though I'm going to stop there with 50%. I will have to, because the next leg is a bit longer, so it'll be a very short stop there. Right now we're at 90%, and it is 46 degrees outside, and as best I could tell, the car has already begun to precondition. So here we go. Anyway, let's see, the car is stopping on its own, so that's good. Pretty soon this will update. This is a TesLab app. As you can see, it says crunching the numbers, so pretty soon it'll show what we're doing. And if you remember, we expect to be at our first stop in Louisville, Kentucky with 50%. So let's see how we do versus that. Just some info for you. Again, here's the TesLab app, and hopefully that will begin to update better. You can see right now, early on, it would say that I only have 83 miles left, which would not even get me there. But anyway, I just started out, so that will update. FSD was going to put me in the incorrect lane. It was going to put me all the way far over to the left. I don't want to be there. So anyway, I already had to stop that. But anyway, here we go. And next stop, before even the charger, I think I'll show you us getting on the interstate. Just want to give you a quick update before I get on the interstate. The temperature is actually 33 degrees. I gave you the temperature as I pulled out of the garage. So it's pretty cool, and not in a good way. And you could see I'm not extremely efficient on my mileage, and I do have one leg of this trip that's if this continued would be difficult, though I think it'll hopefully warm up quicker once the sun comes up. So right now, according to the TeslaLab app, I'm 56% efficient and I have 100 real miles left, even though this would say 179. So that's a pretty big difference. And of course, it's just mathematics. Let's look at the Tesla Trip app. If you remember, I had 50%. It now says 43%, so I have lost quite a bit. So anyway, let's see what the Tesla consumption shows we have left, and that shows 121 miles based on the last 15. So let's see what happens. We are about 4 miles from getting on the interstate, and because I'm in no hurry, we'll be very careful and conservative in our speeds. We are in Frankfort, Kentucky, and we're heading down towards the Kentucky River, which we're going to cross in a moment. I don't know if you can see ahead, but it looks like it's really shrouded in fog just over the river. And let's see how we're doing here. So we seem to be gaining a little bit of improvement in our trip. We're 36 miles from our exit. So let's see what happens. Too bad it's not a nice sunny day. This is bluegrass country, so it's really pretty. Anyway, it's extremely foggy, as you can see here. And we have crossed the Kentucky River. I am at a supercharger in Louisville, Kentucky. There's a Meijer. As you know, many of these are at Meijer. And according to this, I was 67%, the Tesla app, and I have 78 miles left. Let's see what... and if you remember, this was supposed to be 50%. It actually ended up at 45%. And let me see if I can get my watt hours. I averaged 270, which actually is not bad. It says I have 79 miles left, according to the last 15 miles that I drove. If I look at the last 30, kind of the same. So it was not a good trip, I have to tell you. The temperature was cool the whole time. At one point it was 30 degrees, so it definitely was not a warm trip. And let's see what else. The full service driving was horrible. It kept wanting to change lanes for absolutely no reason. And I think what I'm going to do is navigate to Brentwood, Missouri. And let's see. So it says our next stop is going to be in Indiana. I don't even want to try to pronounce it because I will embarrass myself in the town. Anyway, so I'm supposed to be here for about a half an hour charging. These are 250 kilowatt chargers. So the problem is I'm at 44%, so I probably won't be really fast. I'll be leaving here, Louisville, soon. A couple of things. One is I'll need to be ultra conservative. I'm at 88%, and it's showing me arriving with 7, so I'm going to probably get that up to 10. So I'm going to drive very conservatively, just so I'm careful, because last trip, if you remember, I got less than was projected. Thing is, I noticed on my app on the phone, Apparently there was an update to the app, so my phone didn't work. I don't know why I brought the key card with me. If I didn't, I was unable to get in the car with my phone. And I didn't even know the phone wasn't connected. So for anybody, when you get the update on the app, I restarted my phone, and it appears now that everything is just fine. But that's just for your information. And again, this will be a very conservative leg. It's going to take me a long time to get to where I am going in Missouri. But anyway, we're working on it, and I'm not into driving in the winter anymore. To be quite honest with you, it's a pretty difficult thing to do, I think. And I wish now I had gotten the long-range car. Up till now, I was okay with the Standard Range Plus. So it says that I'll arrive in Indiana with 13%. That would be the lowest I've ever left the place at. I usually wait until I'm 15, but you could see I'm at 93%, and I have a feeling that just because simply of the temperature today is part of the real issue. Right now, it's hardly worth it to stay here. I'm getting 19 kilowatts of juice in, and so it's hardly worth it to stay any longer here. I just have gotten on Interstate 64 off of I-265, so I bypassed Louisville to the north. And for the first time, I'm going to look at how we're doing. If you remember when I left, I was to get to the next supercharger with 14%. I drove very conservatively on 265, and the results are, oh my God, 30%. That can't be right. Anyway, let's see what happens. Right now it says that we are in great shape to make it to Indiana, and I can get back to doing the speed limit. I've been doing under it. Let me look at the watt hours, 242, which is great. I did lower my temperature to 66. The outside temperature is 41 right now. There's just about no wind. And of course, that's a pretty big help. So far, this leg of the trip is going well, knock on wood, and I'll still stay conservative, however, the rest of the way. Let me give you a quick update here. I have the TeslaLab app up on the screen. You can see I'm 86% efficient, a whole lot better than the first leg of the trip, and I've so far elevation is down 66 feet. The temperature 40 degrees. I've been driving for 42 minutes, it says. Distance has been just about 40 miles, and I've used 46 miles. So that gives you a pretty good idea of how it's going. Let's look again at the Tesla app. And the Tesla app says I'm now going to have 24% left. So if you remember, I started with 14. The 14 then went to 30. The 30 then went actually a few moments ago to 21, and now back up to 24. So it's kind of knocking around there. And my watt hours are really low at 214. So everything looking well. I'm still doing below the speed limit, and I've maintained that. And I think what I'm going to do is, because things look well, is go ahead and bring it up to the speed limit. And no, I'm not like a lot of people that go very, very fast. I don't do that. So anyway, there's a nice little update for you. I'm 75 miles from my exit, and I'll be back to you when we get there. It's update time. We're just under 30 miles to our exit off of I-64, and I don't know why it's changing lanes. And let's see, right now it says we're 75% as far as how our usage is. We have 75 miles of real miles left on our battery, been averaging 62 miles an hour, which includes, of course, the back roads to get onto the interstate. Come down 171 feet. The temperature 41. It's now up to 45, by the way, which is great news. And let's see what else we have here. We've been traveling for an hour and 25 minutes. We've traveled 88 miles, and we've used 117 miles of battery. And Tesla shows 24%. It's been there for quite a while now, so that's good news. And let's look at our consumption. And it says we have 70 miles left, based on 30 miles, 71, based on 580. And 290 watt hours per mile is what we're using. It's been very hilly, by the way. We've been going up and down a number of pretty good inclines. But other than that, we'll see you in about 25 miles or so.
Well, here I am arriving in Haubstadt, Indiana. It is a great location. It has a nice little market here in the store where you can get some drinks and snacks. It's as clean as could be, and it was very fast. I enjoyed this particular stop, and I would tell you it's great.
We are leaving Haubstadt, Indiana. We are leaving here, heading to our next stop in Mount Vernon, Illinois. We'll be there in just about an hour and 15 minutes. It's 81 miles. I let it charge a little bit too long, but that's okay. We'll fix that. And according to our good buddy here, we should arrive with way too much. So we'll see what happens. Take care. We are in Mount Vernon, Illinois, at a charger. It's at a DoubleTree. The instructions, the map route was incorrect. It actually was routing me behind me at the Fairfield Inn. So if you're looking at this and you're in Mount Vernon, please remember it's the DoubleTree. How did we do on this trip? Let's see. We arrived with 24%, and we did well. I think the drive went very well. And consumption wise was 284 watt hours per mile. That's good. I'm happy with that. So let's put something in, and then we'll head on to Brentwood, Missouri. Well, getting ready to leave. As you can see, I have plenty. It looks like I'm going to arrive with 22% in Missouri. We're currently at 78. It actually charged really quick. And so right now it's slowed down, so it's time for me to stop it. I have about 85 miles or so to go, and we'll arrive in Missouri with a good amount of energy left. And hopefully the next thing you see will be the St. Louis Arch as we come into the west of the United States. Well, we're closing in on St. Louis. We're 39 miles from our next interstate turn, which would put us pretty close to the border of Missouri from where we are here in southern Illinois. Again, look at that. I think we're 24% was the outlook when we left Mount Vernon, and now it says 33%. So anyway, all of this looks fine. And the last thing I'll show is, if it works out, show you entering, crossing the Mississippi and entering Missouri, and that would be the end of it. So this has been a fine trip. The first leg was not good, but I have not taken a trip in this car in over a year. So I guess part of it was me having to get acclimated again to using it. There's some things I don't like about FSD during the drive, but this drive is not about FSD, so I'll just say that I'll do another video on that. Tesla is way ahead of everybody else on everything they're doing with software, and I think with hardware too. And I appreciate Tesla, and I appreciate my Model 3. Camera's probably very shaky. There you go. You can see St. Louis ahead of us kind of just off slightly to the left here. Well, here's a much better view for you.